What's up? What's up? It is your boy, Ty West, and I am back with another one. It has been about a couple of months since I have done any content. I have been taking a break, getting my spirit and soul together. Those are two different things for me. Everybody has a spirit, um, but I feel that your soul is who you are. So, been getting both of those things in alignment, and a lot of things has been coming out of that. A lot of things have been coming out of that, and I feel good overall through everything that's been going on. I feel good. I really do, because for the first time in my life, I'm at a stage. I'm in a place rather, um, where it's up to me to get myself a, to get myself to the place that I want to be at. And that's power. That's power. A lot of people get in a position, they're back against the walls, and they they just stay there. They stay there, and it don't seem like there's anywhere else to go. And that could be a heavy illusion. That could be a heavy illusion, because it is an illusion. There's nothing that can hold you back from life, because life has no limits, no bounds in the sense of discovery. There's always something to discover. So as long as you're alive, there's always something that you can do, something that you're going to stumble across, something that you're going to experience. So that's how I look at my life. That's how I look at my life. And this wasn't an overnight thing. This has, like I said, came from a lot of work. So this video, I don't write nothing down. I don't got scripts. I just be freestyling what's on my heart. What I really want to talk about. And in this one, I just wanted to pretty much, you know, put some good vibes out in the air, because I'm a leader. I'm a leader, and I have to lead. And as a man, and I'm quoting this from the great Andre Taylor and Philip Brandon Gilmore, as a leader, you lead beyond your pain. You understand? So that's what I'm doing, because it's not that I don't, have things that, um, weigh on me from time to time. I'm human. I'm doing this thing just like how everybody else doing it, except I'm choosing to do me. A lot of people don't choose to do them. They want to do what everybody else is doing. And I'm really focused on doing me. So I'm experiencing life, as far as, again, living in the unknown, just like anyone. But ultimately, I'm choosing to do it my way. Right. So I'm really staying strong on my principles and my boundaries, and really building myself. So again, with this video, right? I'm turning 30. I am a week away from 30, and this is quite the age. This is quite the age for me, rather, because my whole 20s, I was never thinking about 30s. For one, in my early 20s, right, and I want to be, watch my words, but I wasn't even looking forward to it. Let's just say that I wasn't even looking forward to it, right? It was one of those things that, hey, we living in the moment, right? And I still live in the moment. So, I'm not stressing about next week or tomorrow. I'm living the day. God's willing, I will live to see it, and have a great time. Have a great time. But yeah, turning 30, turning the big 3-0. And let me see. My fault. I was just making sure we still recording. Okay. I'm turning the big 30. And it's it's a lot of excitement behind it, right? Like a lot of people that I talk to that's in their 30s or um, about to turn 30 themselves, rather in the next couple of years or next year, kind of have the outlook on it of getting old. And I went through my little phase for a hot little moment of really thinking like, damn, like, you really, you leave in 20, uh, you leave in 20, man. Ain't no more 20-year-old spirit, right? Like, it is like, what did that mean? What ain't no more 20-year-old spirit? Like, a lot of people feel they have to give up their fun. They feel like they're giving up something to go into this new age, and I feel like that's completely backwards. I feel like in your 30s, right? You supposed to be having things. You supposed to be getting some money. You supposed to be looking good because you're prepping for right. You're prepping for that elder age, and again, we living in a moment, so we enjoying all of our youth while we got it. But youth don't have to die, right? And when you're prepping for that elder age, that wise age, that age, which age is just a number, but sticking to just what how we do it in society. When you reach that level where you know you're vintage, you know you're wiser, you're a lot more calmer, you're an elder. I like that a lot better than older or old. You're an elder at this point. um, but bringing it all the way back, right, what I'm saying, your 30s is where you're now officially, I would say, an adult. You're now officially an adult, and you're a lot wiser. You're a lot wiser. You know what you know a lot of things that your 20-year-old self didn't know. You know, at least you should, right? I can't necessarily say there's a right or wrong way to do life. Everybody, choose to do it how they want to do it. But ultimately, right, you want to be entering 30 a lot more wiser and not making and repeating the same mistakes that you once made. So, this year I've uh I've experienced great loss. But in the last 5 years, I experienced great loss. I've experienced great loss in the last 5 years from a collective of things that's very personal to me. Um, but everybody, all of us in some form or fashion have experienced loss. So, I'm not special. But where I am unique is even though I've experienced so much loss, or a great amount of loss rather, I am choosing to still not lose myself in the process. And that is something that is powerful, definitely for me, but for anybody to really have that perspective. Never to abandon yourself. When you're approaching, if you're in your 20s and you're approaching 30, or you're already in your 30s and you're looking forward to 40, you know, that 40 is right around the corner. Let's say you're 35 and you feel like, oh man, 5 years I'll be 40, whatever age you is, because I just feel like it keep going with certain people. Never abandon yourself. Fuck the age. Fuck the number. You're abandoning yourself if you were to enter a new age, a new era of your life, feeling like, oh, it's already about to go this way. Giving up on your passions, not being passionate, not being fun, not discovering yourself. I am so excited for what's to come in my life because I'm already doing it now. I'm already doing it now. You know, throughout my 20s, I've given a lot of time to women. I've given a lot of time to women. I would be bold enough to say outside of drugs and music, I've given just about all my time to women, right? And I love women. I adore women. Um, you know, put me in a universe where there's always more women. And I just say that because first, I'm a man. And then two, I love me some women. I love their energy. I love their style. I love their charisma. I love when they're funny. I love how they carry themselves. I love how they only a woman can give you this certain look when she fuck with you. I love it. I love it. So, you know, I am approaching this new age with great insight and with hindsight of knowing I'm about to be where I want to be because I already am. I already am. You know, I am entering 30 with pride as a man, one that take care of himself, that looks good, feel good. For the last 2 months, I've been eating nothing but fruit. You know, I eat a meal or two. Actually today I ate some Chipotle, but I haven't had that in quite some time. But you know, I eat my meals. I still eat, but I've been consuming fruit. You know, I'll consume fruit in the morning for breakfast, and then I'll have a meal later, or I'll eat some food, maybe some eggs or something, and then later I'll eat fruit for dinner, right? But I'm eating fruit all day, so even after breakfast, I'm still consuming fruit, but um ultimately my goal is one meal a day. That's something that I have been trying to perfect for quite some time. Well, before I was trying to perfect it, I haven't actually put in no serious work on that lately, but it's pretty much what I want to get to. And I feel like eating this fruit, the way that I've been eating fruit and the way that it got me feeling and me losing this weight, I feel that's going to be much easier for me to do. Eat one solid meal and then pretty much bang it out with my fruit, because fruit is delicious. And I've been drinking water for like 10 years straight. I've been drinking water, or shit, over 10 years. Just water, water, water consistently, with alcohol too, especially in my younger day. But water, 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 water. But I still wasn't hydrated as I could have been, because there were certain electrolytes I wasn't getting. But I always did my best to drink high class water. So I want to say that. But again, I feel good. I feel good about entering my 30s, because this is really me coming into it with wisdom. And that's the best way I could put it. Fuck the cars, fuck the money, fuck all that materialistic shit. You know, I'm coming into it with wisdom. I'm coming into it with game. I'm coming into it with presence. I'm coming into it as a man. No matter what has happened to me, no matter what I've been through, no matter what I lost, no matter what I got going on or have going on, like none of that matters. I'm going forward, going forward. And that's what I want, anybody who's listening to this. I was stressing about getting the views and all of that in the beginning on YouTube. And then I was just like, man, I don't give a fuck, man. I'm about to do me. I'm about to do me on this platform, and I'm going to continue to do me on this platform. And that's going to bring what it need to bring, because I'm bringing something, you know? Fair exchange is no robbery. So I'm not worried about views and none of that. You know, the right person at the right time gonna hear this message, and I just gotta put it out there. And this is my responsibility. This is now a duty to me. This ain't a choice no more. I have to do this. And I have a video like that asking people, you know, and I think that's another reason too why I didn't get much traction, because I'm asking people, what are you bringing, you know, to the people that's younger than you? If you about to hit 30, what game do you have for somebody that's 20, 21, regardless if they're ready to listen right now or not? Are you literally doing the same thing that 21-year-old doing? Or actually, let me spin it a little differently. Because again, I'm about partying. I love the clubs. I love the party. I love music. I'm lit. I do all that shit, man. I do all that. I love it. But, you know, I'm a lot more controlled with it. You know, at 21, you're a lot more reckless. You have a lot of nights that, you know, you don't necessarily remember because that wasn't the plan that night, to remember what the fuck was going on. You trying to get lit. You trying to like really, really get lit, get X-rated rather, you know? And you want to have some wisdom for the people that's younger than you. You don't want to, it's not about being the old preachy person. Because, you know, why are you around us if you're just going to criticize everything that we do? But it's being able to show the youth how they can do what they want to do in many different ways. There's more than one way to do something. You know, if you want to drift, make sure, and I'm in the cars, you know, make sure you got your license intact. Make sure your record clean. Make sure you're doing it in an area that's that make sure you're doing it in an area where you can actually have fun, where you can actually push it to the limit. But, you know, the thrill of being that young is, no, I want to do it in the middle of public. You know, like I want to fuck up some shit. That's the rush. So like I said, you know, give game to somebody that's younger than you, regardless if they listen or not. Because what they'll come to know as they start to reach your age is, wow, I see where they were coming from. I understand them. And they can trust you. They can trust that you're actually paying attention to the process of your life, to knowledge. You're actually paying attention to things that's helping you learn, moments that are helping you learn. And rather if y'all are still connected those years later or not, but let's just say you're still connected in some way, or y'all was to get reconnected, they trust you. You're like a mentor now. You're a leader. And I don't know why a man wouldn't want to be a leader. I don't know why a man wouldn't want to be a leader. You know, I can't say that we're natural born leaders. I haven't done no research in that. Maybe we are, you know, I don't know. Again, I don't know the studies or nothing. But even if we are natural born leaders, if that is something that is instilled within us, right? Which I could believe that. It still has to be developed, or otherwise it's just wasted potential. So, you know, I'm entering 30s with power, conviction, you know, sex appeal, money, hella money, more money than, oh. And that's the thing, that money don't mean shit to me now. And again, I never said I didn't want money. You don't hear that coming out my mouth. I said money don't mean shit to me. Meaning, for me, I already know how easy it is to make money. So there's going to come a point where so much money is coming in, you know, having so much of that paper, this paper, that it don't mean shit. So that's why it don't mean shit to me now, because it's just paper. I'm going to have the paper. I'm going to have the paper, but I don't have to brag about it. I don't have to keep telling everybody I got paper. None of that. Like, I know I got it. And again, that's that confidence, that's that aura, that's that presence that you want to carry when you start to, I mean, you carry it any time in your life. You don't have to be in your 30s. If you get this game, if you 21, 22, 23 now listening to this, and this is, registering with you, then by all means, accept it, allow it. Because the sooner the better. The faster that you truly understand what I'm telling you right now and what I'm really trying to get through to you, the better you're going to be able to genuinely walk in who you are. And this is coming from somebody that I'm keeping it 100,000 with you, that I've always struggled with that. I've always struggled with that. I've been through a lot with myself. Identity crisis. Like I said, I like the drugs, I still do. I still do. That's why I stay away from them. I consume cannabis. That's a plant. But that's why I stay away from pills and, I used to talk about wanting to do lean and none of that. No. Addictive personality. But I'm entering 30s with pride. I'm entering 30s, really coming out strong, because everything that has happened to me happened for me. There you go. It happened for me. It happened for me to have these revelations. It happened for me to face my fears. It happened for me to get big, to grow, to become flyer, to become wiser, to become more gamed up. It happened for me. So, it is a blessing. It is a blessing to walk in this new era of my life, understanding that not necessarily this is about to be the best that I'll ever be, but this is another great version that I'm about to become. This is just now another level. This is an extended prime of the great man that I've always been. Because even with everything that I've ever been through, I've always been a great man in the sense of genuine, being authentic. But it's like, well, how was you doing those things and you were struggling with who you were? I never did anything that was outside of my boundaries at that time with what my boundaries were. Boundaries grow. they grow with you. So the boundaries that I have now, I didn't have when I was 21, 22, but I did have boundaries. So I never tried to keep up with things that I wasn't already interested in. I couldn't be in a room with crackheads and you persuade me to do crack. I'm not going to do crack. I'll do pills because I want to do pills. I like the pills from a young boy, and that's a whole nother story about how that happened. And I wasn't taking nothing, you know, crazy extreme, but muscle relaxers, which I mean, maybe at the age that I was taking them, but muscle relaxers and shit like that, I really liked. I like that feeling, and then I just started going into other things as I got older. But you know, you can't persuade me to do anything gay because I'm not gay. You know, um, I'm not going to do what I don't want to do, and I've always been that way. So I'm extending. I am progressing. I am elevating, and I am sculpting that who I already am. So if I've always been genuine, I've always been as authentic as I could, as I intended to be, then this version of me is even more solid, is even more real in the sense of being felt, in the sense of presence. So I love it. I love it where I'm going. And I hope all y'all, I hope anybody that's listening to this at whatever time you listen to this, you keep your heart, you keep your heart in the moment. For real. Don't give up. Don't give up. If you want to find love, find it within yourself and you will see it in someone else. Because you can't recognize love if you don't recognize it yourself. And again, that's something that I've had to have great loss to understand, you know. Um, but again, it shaped me. It shaped me into this person who can carry the experience, the mistakes, the the pleasures, the loss, the gain, all of that wrapped up in, life, to have the awareness and the wisdom to understand how I really want to respond. And I want to respond going forward. I want to respond being great. I want to respond seeing myself doing everything that I said I want to do. And I also want to respond with some humility. I want to respond really looking at where I've went wrong, what I need accountability on, what can I do better on, how can I be impeccable with my word. And I'm gonna do another little thing on that. Be impeccable with your word. Oh man, I'm gonna have something crazy with that because man, I know that. But yes, if you're entering 30, happy birthday. If you a Cancer, um, you know, shout out to you. I believe in astrology. My mother got me on it. So my mother is, transitioned into a ancestor now. And, that's special to me. So there's certain things that I would just always carry with me because of my mother. And the Cancer sign, she was a Cancer. I'm a Cancer. And my son is a Cancer. And that's just special. So shout out to all my Cancers out here, my water signs. I love water signs. The last uh, woman that I was with um, was a water sign, and I think that's why shit got so wavy. You know, shit got way, way too wavy. But in a good way, in some good ways, a lot of good ways, way more good than I would say I would, bad. Um, yeah, yeah, beautiful, beautiful, man. And then again, that's the wisdom that I'm taking forward that, you know, so many different things, you know, um, that has happened for me. Like I said, you know, I'm able to really look at and respond differently, you know, like this one cat, you know, work that I worked with, man. I look, just a little backstory, you know, little young dude was jealous of me. We worked at a dispensary, and he's struggling with his identity as well. I mean, I'm not now, but saying in the sense of him being young in his 20s, and when I was in my younger 20s, he's struggling with his identity, not knowing who the hell he is. And I seen that in him, and I just do what I do for my siblings, which is be me. So I was just being me, man. And I listened to him. I listened to the brother. We had good times, laughs and stuff like that, talking music. But because he refused to look, at least at this age, he could do this maybe one day. But because he refused to look at himself and really face what he's scared of, which is a man, ultimately. And I say that just because he have daddy issues, and he have a complex with men who are taller than him and bigger than him and have more presence than him. So until he faced that, he's never going to move forward, right? But you know, I allowed him to help me lose my job, right? Because I'm not giving it to him. I can't say, oh, he made me look. No, I allowed him to help me lose my job. And I really love that job. I love the dispensary. I love cannabis. I love the culture and all that. But yeah, that happened. And it happened just because after some time of the buildup of the little bitch ass shit that he would do, it just came to a point where I just had to address it. I just gotta address it. And I did. And one thing led to another. We didn't fight, but I mean that wouldn't have been the fight anyway. But it wasn't nothing physical. But he was scared of me. He went and told on me. He went and told on me. What I said to him was intense. So he went and told on me, and because it was just me and him, we was the only two black guys working in there. Everybody else was white and gay. Yo, that. Oh man, look, that's right. But it is a lot of white gay folks in the industry, right? But one of the coolest people in there, and I'm not gonna say his name, was white and gay. So you know, just acted a fool. But yes, everybody was white, and it was just me and him. It was just me and him. Two black men. You know what I'm saying? One black man and a black boy. So, and that just hey, it was just a clash. Really on his side, because I was still calm with my delivery of what I had to tell him. but it still came off like how I meant for it to come off. So, not going all over the place, right? With this, what I'm saying is, I'm taking more control over the things that has happened for me, because that's what I realized. It happened for me. And you can only see it that way when you genuinely start to have that self-awareness about your life and that passion and that drive. The same way that you want, anything in this world that's materialistic, the same way that you want any of that is the same way, I would say, even more deeper. And this is where the real richness is at, right? You need more eagerness to understand yourself. You need more drive to drive yourself. To understand who you are, what really drives you. You need more drive to understand what really drives you. You need more self-awareness on, your dark spots, your blind spots, as they say. you know um Different things you could be passionate about. One passion could lead you to another passion. Who are you? What are you? Like, you ultimately, and this is for anybody, but you're a man listening to this, a young man listening to this. You want to be able to sit across from a woman and tell her exactly who you are without stuttering, without over explaining, and without trying to impress. Because, if you carry that, that sex appeal on you anyway, if you carry that game within you anyway, you're going to impress her because you're just being you. You want to have a clear definition on that. And what's the crazy thing, the cold thing about it is, you ain't got to mention money. You ain't got to mention anything that has anything to do with money, is what I'm trying to say. Because like I said, this paper, it's just paper. But you don't got to mention anything that got to do anything with money. Telling that woman who you are. And how do you develop that? Looking in that mirror. Looking in that mirror. Oh, you afraid of sounding, awkward or stupid. A lot of people think they're stupid. I thought I was stupid before. Yeah, I thought I was stupid before. Just because I had selective hearing. Like, my brain will just tune out something that it don't give a fuck about. And I mean completely. And I was like, yo, I don't know. I don't know what that is with me. It's like, well, damn, we thought you were stupid. It's like, well, I got a very interesting childhood. Again, I ain't even touch on some things. I'm really about to get in my bag with that. So that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm doing this right here. Keeping it real, raw, and authentic. Letting it flow, letting it go. And the real's gonna rock with this. So yeah. Enter any new era of your life with pride and dignity, being renewed, restored, and refreshed. And you don't wait until that new era arrives. You walk into it already as that. So I am internally grateful to move into this next stage of my life. And it is about to be fucking dope. Like, the amount of sex, the amount of bitches, right? The amount of everything that I'm about to just be having is crazy. Oh, yeah, don't get it twisted. You look, just because you wise, just because you have self-awareness, just because you might have a sense of peace within you that gives you a calmness that seems like, oh, this person won't do that. Stop that. I do that. I like to club. I like music. I'm going to own my own spots so I can control the environment. And I don't mean like, watching what everybody doing, but I mean I can set the atmosphere. Yeah. I can set the atmosphere. The vibes. So everybody can enjoy themselves. No foolery going on. Definitely no hating. None of that sucker shit. We removing all suckers. The moment you reveal that you a sucker, you out of there. So, yeah, hell yeah. I'm gonna be knocking mothers, daughters, because I'm gonna be a fine ass man. I'm a fine ass man now. So as I'm extending what I already am, yo, come on, man. So I'm grateful. Very grateful. Very grateful for, the new things I'm gonna be learning, the new places I'm gonna be traveling to, right? What I'm doing now is called speaking life into my 30s, being healthy. Oh my God, man, the shape that I'm about to be in, the shape that I'm, the shape, the body that I'm about to have. Yeah, right? I get women while I'm fat. I look good while I'm fat. You understand? And that's just because I'm blessed to be tall. And in my early 20s, I had got my body, to a very decent size. But I had lost it again because I ain't fully adapt myself to the new identity of what it is that I was becoming. So now, with me being way more grounded in who I am and understanding where I'm at in life, me getting my body together and being in shape, being healthy, having stamina. I do yoga religiously, qigong. I've been meditating for some time. I just got back though, really, really on meditating because yoga has just been something that I just do. But I'm about to be amazing. I'm about to be great. I'm about to be inspiring, powerful, intelligent, funny, fun, mysterious. Because a man that has such qualities is often an observer, often do more listening than speaking, often comes off as stoic. But once you get to know that man, you love that man forever. Because regardless of, you know, the experiences that you will have with that man, the different types of experiences you will have with that man, there'll be one thing that you'll be grounded on with that person, which is where the love comes from, is that they were genuinely 100% authentically themselves. And I'm going to use it again from Gorgeous Dre, Philip Brandon Gilmore. So actually, since I'm saying his real name, Andre Taylor, and Philip Brandon Gilmore, a man is the truth. That is what I'm entering my 30s as. So any woman who may have had ups and downs with me. I've had ups and downs with them for sure, but I'm talking about me. I'm focused on my accountability. Any woman that had ups and downs with me, any friend that had ups and downs with me, any family member that had ups and downs with me, understand one thing going forward that they already know. They already know this, but you listening, understand one thing going forward, rocking with me, is that all of them would say that is Tyrene. All of them will say that is Tyrene. Regardless if you feel this way, that way, that is Tyrene. And it's a blessing. It's a blessing because my presence while being here has been felt. And when you have that going for you, that means you was a force. That means you was something to be felt. Now, if you want to be great, you make sure people feel love. So, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And I hope you all are too. We in the land of the living, as my grandmother would say. And I'm grateful. Be on the lookout for a lot of the stuff that I got coming out, right? Because I go by Ty West, but I also go by Presence. A lot of y'all are going to know me for different things that I do. But the man behind it is always Tyrene. So none of these different, brands, that I, preside over, are coming from a man who doesn't know who he is. Everything that I'm into is an expression of who I am. And like I said, regardless of what you may feel about me, you gonna know that I'm Tyrene at the end of the day. I'm Tyrene, and that's all I can ever be. And that's all I ever want to be. I've been with this person for almost 30 years. All right? We've been through a lot together. I got this person's back. I got my back, right? So, enter these new eras in your life with pride, because it's opportunity. It's opportunity. And it's a blessing. It's truly a blessing. But yes, I'm going to be updating some more on what I got going on. I'm about to drop something crazy on everybody very shortly, pertaining to music. And yeah, I'm very excited for this. Like I said, I'm in this mode. I'm in this mode. All right. Everybody, peace, love, and presence. And may the game be with you. I will talk with you later.